In this webinar, we will take a look at SIRS Discoverer. It's appropriate for elementary and middle school students, beginning learners, and reluctant readers. Search results will include full-text magazines, newspapers, and government documents, as well as online sources. From the GoWild.net page, it can be accessed alphabetically under the S. Here you'll find a link to just SIRS Discoverer, or notice that we also have SIRS Knowledge Source, and it's listed as one of those resources. It can also be accessed here under Kids Resources, databases and resources for those from K to 12. Also remember that if you're promoting this to students that are working from home, your homeschool folks working from their office, there's a remote user login, and just direct them to that link at the top right of the page. They'll be needing their library card and PIN. So let's take a look at some of the features available. I'm going to begin here on the right hand side of the page where it says Database Features. The first one on the list is Election 2012. Here they've brought together resources including full text, magazines, newspapers, websites relating to Election 2012. Here's our list of results. Notice that to the left of each title there's a little book icon. If you hover your cursor over that, it will tell you at what level the reading is. For example, this first one, it indicates that it's challenging. The second one at moderate reading levels. To the right of each title, you can link right to the subjects or right to the graphics. And notice these little graphics are listed up here at the top of the page. It also includes, if there's an A, indicates there are activities, F for fiction, P for people, and you can go to a PDF format. The second one on this is going to be of great interest to folks whether you're in a public library or school, and that's Failr Explorer. Here you can explore a topic, for example in the junk drawer, which indicates physics, in the recycling bin, focusing on ecology and environment, in the garbage bin, gross science, and around the little topic tree here. This will be a great way not only to find science fair experiments and projects, but also activities for kids, whether you're doing library programming or doing some programming for home. I'm going to select in the junk drawer. And notice it gives us experiments and projects under this physics topic. And now I'm going to select electric animals. Once I've broken down that topic, you'll see that it's coming out of Science Weekly. And here's our topic, electric animals. It gives us information here at the top, vocabulary, some questions, and then weekly labs. So here's the actual activities, questions, and answers for these various projects under electric animals. I can go back to the particular topic under physics here and select another one, or use the go back and I get all of the various Science Fair Explorer topics. If you're looking for other activities besides those listed there under Science Fair, there's also a database feature called Activities. Here you'll find various breakdowns, including art projects and food projects and maps and tricks, puzzles, read aloud plays. If I click on one of those, so for example, jokes and riddles to tell, you'll see that again we have the icon at the left giving us the reading level. There are also tabs across the top telling me I have 47 articles 3 of them newspapers, 42 magazines. I have 6 graphics. Under some of these, you'll also see I've got descriptors with each one, as well as a Lexile reading score. And just like we saw when we were looking at the Science Fair Explorer, it gives us the article information about it, images, and then this one includes facts and jokes. At the very bottom of the page, you'll see that you can copy and paste this information into a document, and it does include the day's date. So when kids put it in their citation information, it's properly cited for the date they access the information. So let's go back out to activities and look at some of the other ones available. The read aloud plays and the read aloud stories. So here you'll find different plays set up for kids to read, including the narrator, different parts, and different acts of the play. Notice at the bottom of the page I have multiple pages of my results. Let's take a look at one of these. This one's called Where the Wild Things Are. Notice it has the subjects, the graphics, the little A indicating there are activities, and F indicating fiction. And you'll see there's our list of characters and our scenes with our narration parts and our characters parts. At the very top, I can go back to my results list, but I can also get a summary and citation information for this. And there's also a print button and social media sharing. Back to the database features, there's one called Skills Discover, and here you'll get to some interactive websites for art, health, language arts, math, science, and social studies. There's a featured web page here, and you'll notice there's a link to find more WebFind sites relating to art. The next one on our list here is biographies. There's a search box so you can enter a person's name of someone famous or notable, or you can use the alphabetic link here at the bottom. So for example, if I click on the Q, you can see that we've got everything from Queen Elizabeth to Queen Latifah. If I select one that has more results, notice that at the bottom of my list I have more pages, so I can go to my next 25 on my list. One that might be of interest right now with the release of the movie Lincoln would be the one on Mary Todd Lincoln. Notice that they're not all out of an encyclopedia, for example. This one's out of a resource called Back Home in Kentucky, and there's the biographical information about Mary Todd Lincoln. Notice at the very top that this can be emailed, so if a student wanted to email it to school in order to print it or run it by the teacher, there's that capability to do that. The next one down is fiction. Here you'll find drama, folklore, poetry, plays, etc. What comes up are 363 articles, but if you'd like to look at subtopics, they're on the right-hand side of the page, alphabetic listing here. So if I wanted to narrow this down, for example, I'd go into animals, and here you'll find 128 articles under animals. Because I have a variety of reading levels, I can sort those here by Lexile reading. So if I select Lexile, then using the arrows to the right of that, I can sort either lowest to highest or highest to lowest. If students needed to add a graphic, an image to their reports, their research. There's a picture file. Again, I can enter a term into the search box or use browsing alphabetically by letter. I'm going to enter Dust Bowl. Again, there might be some interest on that again because of the new Ken Burns program. So here are some images for Dust Bowl. And notice we've got the caption information at the top, and it indicates what article that picture was in addition to, and you can go to that article. I can come back to my list of results. Notice that if I wanted to do a different search, my search box comes with me on all of my search, as does my alphabetic listing. So I could go right from here to another search for another image. Great addition to kids doing research or something that might inspire them to do more research. They also have maps of the world, which is over 3,000 maps. If you've used Search Issues Researcher, this might look familiar to you, where you've got United States, Canada, nations, and regions in current maps. There's also U.S. historical and world historical maps. And outline maps. So if students are studying some part of the world, for example, the Middle East, there's the outline map for that. To print that out, just use the printable PDF link here at the top left on the page. Across the bottom of SIRS Discover homepage is a reference section. There is a current events, which are updated daily with national and international news articles. Another way to encourage research. The next one over is Spotlight of the Month, which is spotlighting some of the resources here in SIRS Discover. Then there's World Almanac for Kids. Here you can search by table of contents or do a keyword search. Once you're in the table of contents, we have our list here. And now I can just select one. And there's our list of results out of World Almanac for Kids 2012. At the bottom, when you're in the World Almanac for Kids, notice that there are workbooks. And it opens in a separate window, and you'll see that there are workbooks and educator guides for middle and elementary school levels. So you can get into workbooks, worksheets, for working through the research process and this particular database. Keyword searching is also available. Just like we've seen on the other ones, you have your search box here, and notice that you can use your Boolean and or not. There are tips for searching, and at the very top is a help link. Also available in SIRS Discover is Encyclopedia. This is Compton's Britannica. Where we can enter a search term or again browse alphabetically by letter. Here's our search results for our search. Notice it brought the search box with me so that I can add to my search, do a new search, or browse alphabetically. And here's my search results. Notice that because we're in the encyclopedia, I've got links to other sections within the encyclopedia here. And down at the bottom, related articles, as well as my citation information. The next section on this page, right above reference, is called Discover Web Find. These are selected websites that are updated and evaluated and are age appropriate. Just like on the main SIRS Discover page, we have a search box, or we can search by the subject tree. If we select one of these, it will open up in a new window. There's our search results. And what opens in a new window is actually the website. So it's connecting you outside of the Search Discover, but these are, as I said, updated and evaluated, age appropriate, so students can get this additional information just by using SIRS Discover. I'm going to select Kids Corner this time. And let's take a look at some of these. Will look kind of familiar. For Kids, Between the Lions, Curious George. And if I selected Curious George, for example, it's going to take me out to the Houghton Mifflin Books site, to the Curious George. What this opens up is quite a variety, I think, of what they have access to. Notice on the right-hand side, again, we've got topics and subtopics. Back at SIRS Discover, this is where we can get into more specific searching. We can use the search box here at the top, where we can search by subject or keyword, or in the middle here where we can use the subject tree, where there are 15 categories of topics, and then we could break them into subtopics or branches. I'm going to select cultures, and on the right hand side are the topics and subtopics. If you're working in your school with the Flat Stanley project, notice there's a link for that here as well. I can come back out and select another topic. So let's take a look at one of these. Let's look at environment. Across the top we have our tabs indicating 80 articles, newspapers, magazines, reference items, graphics, and web find sites. I can either take a look at my articles here, and of course I can sort them by title, publication, by Lexile score. I can narrow them on the right with my topics and subtopics. I can go straight into just the newspapers, so narrowing down from my 80 articles just to 23. And I can use the tabs and now just go to the web find sites, for example. I'm going to select the American Environmental Photographs. So again, like we saw with the kids and the web find sites, this will open in a separate window. And when they're done with this site, close that window and they're right back in their search results. Of interest here might also be the arts. I know that's hard to find, sometimes good information for kids or easy to access information for kids on the arts, especially artists. So here under the arts we've got our articles, but on the right I can again narrow, for example, by artists. Notice by comics, mass media, museums, things like that. So here's Campbell Soup celebrates Andy Warhol. We've got the bubble science and artists. Lots of variety here, getting kids into the arts. So let's get up to our search box. I'm going to type in aviation history. And here's our search results. We've got 191 articles, and as you roll down through our list of results, you'll see that we have things out of Compton's by Britannica. We have things out of particular journals, newspapers, and several reading levels. So if we hover our cursor, we see that we have challenging, we see that we have moderate, and we see that we have easy reading, all in our search results. If I wanted to narrow that, again, you can use the Lexile sorting here at the top. Or if we go back out to the main page, we can go into Advanced Search, and now we can look at our search. Aviation history, and let's say we did not want the easy reading, just the moderate and challenging for our older kids. And I can also indicate that I want it to search the encyclopedia as well. And now redo my search. So now my search results will not include those in the easy reading category. The red and the turquoise indicate the moderate and challenging. This purple one, that indicates general, or our encyclopedia and almanac. Another thing that you might want to watch for on this one, and that is phrases. I typed in aviation history and notice we got 184 articles. To be more specific with phrases, you can put them in quotes. This will ensure that your words are searched together and in the order indicated. By putting that in quotes, you'll see that now I have 30 articles. The reading levels in this particular database, SIRS Discover, use the Flesch Reading Ease Scale, and each article is assigned a raw score based on its readability. It's then judged for content and then placed in one of those reading levels. Easy, which is 1st to 4th grade, moderate, 5th to 7th, and challenging 8th grade and above. Lexile scores are also added to these articles, and they're matched to readability and text difficulty. At the very top of the page, you'll see that SIRS Discover has included Common Core correlations. Here you'll find resources to incorporate them into the classroom. To begin, just select Wyoming. And then select the subject. I'm going to select Language Arts. Here you'll find the standards, their benchmarks, and the resources. Just click on the little arrows next to the particular standard there and benchmark, and now you'll see the link to the resources. What you'll find then is you'll link to those places within SIRS Discover, including that information. So we can, under this one, speaking and listening, we can click on the plays to perform. And as we saw before, this links to those actual plays that they can read and perform to meet that Common Core correlation for language arts. Also of help is a link here called Educator Resources at the very bottom of the page or within the database features. Under Educator Resources, you're going to find the elementary and middle workbook that we saw the link to under the Almanac. And here you'll find the worksheets on the different subject keys, how to use this database, keyword searching, subject, basic reports, language and writing, Almanac. Also on this page, there's an educator guide. And here you'll find more information about SIRS Discover. Taking a look at the table of contents, you'll see that there's information about SIRS Discover, that subject tree searching, keyword searching, and again, guide to those student workbooks. And you'll notice the last one there is the answer key. They also include worksheets and handouts on doing research, using the Lexile reading levels, analyzing graphs, maps and charts, map skills, and they include some frequently asked questions. You can also access ProQuest training videos, podcasts, and request webinars here. They also include on this a dictionary and thesaurus that opens in a separate page, so when students are doing research, they can type their information straight in to the dictionary or into the thesaurus if they're trying to find other words. This webinar and others can be found on the State Library homepage in the archive collection. Also of interest about our database resources may be the Wild Databases blog. Here you'll find information about new additions to our resources, changes, ideas for searching, information about our ebooks, e-audiobooks, and more. Check here regularly, or you can create that as an RSS feed. Thanks for listening in today, and please let us know if you have any questions. Just check with us here at the State Library.